Welcome, everybody, to the Trash Family Podcast. As I live and labor to breathe, I am here, Dylan Demo Taylor, with, as always, Nick the Garbage Gorilla. Pearl,
Hello. Hello there.
hello. How are you?
I'm good. I am a little warm right now because it is hot.
I thought you were the one hot one. Anyway,
I am always hot.
what is this podcasting? What are we doing here?
We are just two guys looking at each other in the camera and trying not to be weird. um,
Trying and failing. It's part of the fun. Okay, you're the one who insisted that we turn on the cameras. I was all for audio, and yet I couldn't say no to those blue eyes. Anyway, what are we doing here? What is this podcast? Why should people listen to us?
I think it's because we are going to be sharing a lot about some sports, video games, kind of our two passions, and just two good friends. Even though we're states apart, we still have a good time, and we figured we BS about sports and video games all the time and have a good time doing it. Let's bring people into us, into this trash family.
It's great name. It's a great name.
It's
It's great pod. Great
it's a
podcast.
yeah, great name.
And now we are a bunch of we're just nerds.
Yeah.
You entertain me. I entertain myself. It's part of
Mhm.
part of my charm. You know. And you say we're talking about sports and games. What are you into? What do you like to do? What's your go-tos?
My go-tos. Let's start out with a little sports because my go-to is severely lacking because big NFL fan, and
And unfortunately, who is your team?
I am a Carolina Panthers fan.
Yeah,
Uh,
but why though? But why though?
because when I first started watching football in the early 2000s with my father, I it was 2004, I believe, when Carolina played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I saw an interview with Steve Smith, Senior, and
Never seen.
I loved his trash talk, and then with him on the offensive side, favorite offensive player watching them back in the day. But how do you not love Julius Peppers?
He's a defensive king. That is
Yeah,
true. That is a fair. Those are fair people to enjoy.
and
But
Black and Blue is amazing.
yeah,
What about you? What's your team and why?
I mean, I'm a local boy, but I use my dad as my backup. I am a Niners fan by my hometown heroes. My mom from the Bay Area and has grown up a Niner fan. But however, my dad, being from Minnesota, big Viking fan, big Skull Nation fan. So I use those as my basis for who I went with. I
Okay.
mean, uh, considering how large and how populous the Bay Area is,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's surprising how many legends still are here and are still around.
Yeah.
Uh, it makes me glad to be part of the Niner Nation.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
what other sports?
ooh, big Raptors fan for basketball. Toronto Raptors.
You are the most again. You are still the most scatterbrained sports, geographically speaking, of your teams of
Well,
choice.
think about early 2000s when I'm getting into sports when I was just a wee little kid.
You're a gosh darn Canadian, man.
I,
Why?
but see, the thing is, I'm from the
From National Basketball Association, not the International Basketball Association.
well, there used to be two in Canada because Memphis Grizzlies were Vancouver Grizzlies,
I believe it.
I think. I could be wrong, could be very wrong, but I could have sworn there's two Canadian teams.
One episode in, and you're already just creating,
I'm just
fake news.
creating my own facts to make myself look better, like always. But the Raptors fan because like all my teams have significant meaning. You remember those old when we were kids? They had the basketball hoop that you could hook on your door, little basketball, and you could just play indoors and stuff. Well, first one I got Toronto Raptors backboard, Toronto Raptors basketball, and so I was like, oh, let's look into these guys. And watching Vince Carter do what Vince Carter did, how do you not love Vinsanity?
The elbow dunk is
Yeah.
still great. Yeah. No, yeah. And then I have to unfortunately give the same answer of Warriors and Timberwolves. Timberwolves, man, they're getting better, and I'm happy. I'm mad about Golden State playoffs right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, Lakers in whatever. Anyway, we're talking about us.
Yes.
We'll talk about them later. I mean, I love how basketball is a lot more about the player than the team. At least modern. Like I go back, I love Allen Iverson way too much.
Oh yeah.
You know, talking about practice is one of the greatest interviews of all time. Yeah, and then of course the Greek Freak, and we'll talk about the unanimous number one overall pick later.
Yeah, and we will, at some point, we will get into the GOAT debate for basketball.
All right, initial thoughts? You say LeBron, I'm killing you.
I do not say LeBron.
Good, thank you.
I know I'm going to take a lot of heat from that because, I mean, I would love to say LeBron. Like, yeah, he has so many freaking accomplishments, but just, the game's changed. That's all I'm going to say for now is the game has changed, and it's hard to compare apples to oranges without stepping on a few grapes. Wow, that was actually really thoughtful.
That was a good quote. I think you pulled that out of your ass, but that's fine.
That's not the only thing.
We'll talk about that dirty thing later, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I mean, you're not wrong. LeBron is great. He's a great player. He's in the conversation without a doubt. And when you say the game has changed, I think it has changed right before he got into the league, when he got into the league, and again recently.
Oh yeah, he's gone through 3 phases of NBA basketball in his career, which is like that. Well, that's my biggest thing when people talk about the GOAT debate is if I say Michael Jordan is better than LeBron.
Yeah, you turned into Yosemite Sam just there. I want to point that out.
Yeah, well, I turn into a lot of things. I'm a fluid being.
Got a lot of fluids, I've heard.
Yes, but if we are, I don't want to detract from if I say MJ is better than LeBron. That's not me taking anything away from LeBron. He's a fantastic player. Like, of my generation, best player of my generation. But it's a huge debate that has to be a whole topic, almost a whole podcast in itself. It's almost infuriating that you and I agree on a lot of that stuff, so we can't argue about it, but we can express.
Fair enough. All right. And what other sports do you follow? Be quick about it.
Follow. I mean, I check up on my San Jose Sharks because, like you, I am a Bay Area kid. I just do not live there anymore.
Well, we may come back anytime.
Yeah, I still have family there, so I still got a tether to the Bay Area.
Yeah, my name is Dylan.
Yeah. And baseball, Giants. I don't do that whole like. I'll watch soccer, but I don't follow it. Like it's more fun to watch videos of soccer of like, oh hey, that was a cool clip, than watching.
My baseball pick was BA.
Yeah.
I mean,
other than that, there's not really any sport I follow. No, I don't even follow college football much. Like, I follow it towards end of the year awards to get ready for NFL draft.
Yep, and you with the number one overall pick, picking Bryce Young, you know much about his collegiate career over at Alabama?
I have not actually looked up a bunch on him. I've noticed the college career, like, there's some like, I'm trying to even think. There's maybe a handful of quarterbacks that have come into the league of late and their college career and continue to excel in the NFL career instead of get to the NFL, have a drop off and recovery.
Yeah, I still remember the Josh Allen versus Josh Rosen debate.
And where's Josh Rosen at?
And I think he's like a third stringer here. I think he's a third stringer. He was I'm not sure if he still is, honestly, a third stringer over in Santa Clara.
Yep.
So
off to edit that little part out real quick too, because I accidentally did it again. I forgot my main screen was over here, so
Yep. Hello.
we'll edit that out in a little bit.
So I recommend using timestamps. If you know how to do that, just write it down.
I do not, because I don't think Discord. Oh, my OBS. You're so
Yeah, there you go.
smart. I'm so smart.
You hey, no, you're not. So you say,
Um,
oh, clip out at starts blank, and then go to blank.
OBS, I don't think has it either.
Just write it down the times, so you know where to look.
Oh, there it is. 10 minutes 50. So I'm just gonna open you up and I'm gonna put around the 10 minute.
Yeah.
Just gonna message it to you, because I meant to go pull up Josh Rosen.
Gotcha.
Because now I'm really curious.
Where'd he end up? Like that was a thing.
Yeah, no, I remember it. He is free agent.
There you go. That answers your question. And,
Yeah.
and how is Josh Allen doing?
I think he's all right. I think he's
Yeah.
made it to the playoffs once, twice, a few times. Hasn't
Big
done
Ben
much.
comparisons,
Yeah.
but like better because he can run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other sports are you following at the moment or throughout the years?
Again, I'm a football main. I'll dabble in some basketball and baseball. Tried and trying to get into hockey. Again, there's a lot of Sharks fans around me at work
Mm-hmm.
and at home. Um, but yeah, I'm probably more of a baseball fan than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, please, we have so much money in the Giants right now. I would love Shuhei to come here, but I doubt it. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean,
We
we
lost
do.
out on Judge, so
Yeah.
we might as well.
Yep. I mean, we got for hockey, we are Gretzky appears a lot in the town I'm at.
It's true. You live in the same town. I know a lot of people who go up to his camps
Mm-hmm.
seasonally to meet
Yeah.
and play with him. Like what a legend.
Yeah. Yep. Best made the best quote in the history of quotes.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep. I do that. I bring that up in every aspect of my life, especially when I'm swerving through traffic.
Yeah.
Nah. But yeah, that seems like our a wrap up of our sports. Unless you got
Sure.
anything else for sports.
I mean, we can go into detail later, I am sure. Now,
Yeah.
the next thing is, what games you playing?
Right now, Star Citizen, as
Is
you
that a big thing?
have found out.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's
But there's a big problem with that, though,
you can't play it with me.
is that you are what I would like to call a racist, and by that I mean a PC master racist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play your games with me anymore because you're on your PC, and I'm over here with my games and things on consoles with a controller and without a designated interchangeable hardware. And I'm mad about it. That being said, you seem like you are having a lot of fun playing Star Citizen with a future guest star.
Yes, it is a lot of fun because the game is so broken. At times, it can be frustrating.
The comparison that I have pulled from you and a friend of ours, Anders, during the same gameplay session, how different your gameplay looks
Mm-hmm.
and how inconsistent that comparison is hilarious to me.
And if you added a third in there, it's going to be completely different than the other two. Because it all depends. Are you having a good Star Citizen day? Am I having a good Star Citizen day? But the reason I like it is a little bit about Star Citizen. It was a guy who used to work for, I can't remember what gaming companies he used to work for, but he got tired of the publicist telling him, "Hey, I want only this in the game, none of that other good stuff." And he got tired of that, which I understand. He went, just started a kick fund back in the day saying, "Hey, this is a concept game."
It's called a Kickstarter, sir.
Kickstarter, same thing.
So,
Um, and he started that, and just people giving him a little coin to be like, "Hey, I like your dream of the game. I would like to help you." and he started building at the very peak, very beginning of Star Citizen. It was, hey, you've pledged us money, you can have a ship. You can't fly the ship, but you can go into the shop and look at your ship and kind of tour your ship. And it's gone from that to open world. I could run mercenary missions. I could get in dogfights in my spaceship. I could do delivery. I could be literally a mobile space trash person and just collect trash and go drop it off.
The question that I have for you, as someone who has heard a lot about this game, but not from you, and been waiting to tell you about it, do you know how many missions or what do they call them on Kickstarter? Pledge marks that
Yeah.
they missed. Way too many for them to have the amount of money they have and how much they have had external investors for. It's a little it's a little nuts if you look
It
at the actual backstory about how bad it has been
it
and how long it has taken.
well yeah, it's been
So
how many years? I want to say
8-ish, I
eight
want to
ish.
say,
Yeah. 8 to 12 sounds about right.
and that was after promising what half of what they have now,
Mhm.
more than half of the amount of time ago. And there's a difference between a triple A developer releasing a game with significant financial backing, a significantly large team behind them in a buggy mess. And there's a difference between an independent developer getting crowdfunding and having that responsibility, that the internal crunch, but the amount of feature creep
Mhm.
that I've heard about from this game is was always something that concerned me and was a turnoff from me investing in a game that doesn't look like it's ever going to be as advertised based on the feature creep.
Well, here's what I have to say that I appreciate about the game is their transparency of you can actually go to a website and you can look and they could be like, okay, here's what we're working on. Here's how many dev teams are working on each different thing. So you could be like, okay, they're really pushing hard for this or they're pushing hard for that. I play it as I just like flying around in a big old spaceship and just having fun, like space fun. Like as kids, young boys, we always dreamed of like being in the sky, in the stars, being a spaceman, and I could live that now. It's a buggy mess, but for what we get out of it, it's much better than it was. Like I feel bad for the people that got in at the beginning. Getting in where you're at now, where you actually have stuff to do, it's great fun, great fun. I don't say it's game like best game ever made, but it has the potential. And my biggest thing, I want to know what the end game is. I want to know when does the creator step back and say, I like what I've made, I am done.
I admit I was impressed by the cast list on the eventual first player campaign. I don't know if you looked at that
I
ever.
have looked at that. I
That's a that's a cast.
yeah, yeah, it's I like that aspect of it, and like I feel like we're rounding the corner towards the end of the game, but that rounding the corner can still be 5 years. Like from where we're at, or like I feel like they have the great building blocks to create a solid, releasable, complete, bug-free game and get it out to us.
And I have a very important question that I forgot to ask. When you're playing Star Citizen, is there somewhere we can see you to be doing this? Is there something I don't know you would like to plug at this point?
I guess I could plug my Twitch channel right here.
What is that? Where are you? What is that called? And how can I help you?
I'm on Twitch. The name is Garbage Gorilla 95, and I do a lot of Star Citizen, but I also am about to dive into some horror games.
Oh, I've heard about this. What are you going to be playing next on your horror days?
I believe we have a small little game that I started playing when it first came out because my wife is a huge horror nerd, and she dragged me into it. It is called
The Mad Dog himself.
Yes, it is called Phasmophobia.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. So it was a little game, and then it was very much not
Yes,
a little game.
this
Yeah.
is a little game, but now it is apparently I haven't played since it first came out. I played for like 2 months, then got burned.
Speaking of horror games, have you played Dead by Daylight?
I have not, but have you seen who they're adding to it?
That's like yes, I have Nicolas Cage, and if they don't have bees as one of his abilities, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I have not played it because I do not like super toxic communities.
Yeah, you need a team, just like why we don't play Search more often.
Yes, I will only play if I play Call of Duty. I know that's so contradictory of I don't like toxic communities talks about Call of Duty. But pardon that little segment right there. If I do play Call of Duty, I'm playing with the guys. We have a whole group of 6 or we're in custom games. But I game for the pleasure of hanging out with my close friends.
Yeah,
That's
why we play. I'm willing to play Call of Duty anytime.
Yeah. What about you? Let's talk about some of your gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I play socially, but my most relaxing thing is something I've been saving to talk to you about.
Ooh.
It is something that I've gotten really into, and something that relates to this a lot. Is I remodded my PS3.
Ooh.
Which was it's a chore. It's something I do not recommend you do without technical know-how.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow up my PS3 if I try.
Well, also you, and also just liability. Do not do as I say. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. But the reason I did it was the NCAA revamped game, which is a lot of fun. So much fun. It's my go-to relaxing post-work dad game. Shout out to Yahtzee Croshaw at Zero Punctuation for giving me that term, post-dad game. Recommended YouTuber and writer of a great book, Differently Morpheus. But that is what I've been playing for my downtime. Again, Call of Duty is another one that I socialize with. I'm competing on quickest timed to 100% Persona 5 with another one of my friends. And that is a lot of time. Like her first attempt was 102 minutes. No, hours. 102 hours to completion. And then she was like, I got it to 89 hours. And I'm looking at her like, that's not better, but I still think I could beat you. And that was a mistake.
Yes.
JRPGs, man.
Right. What is either a game or a series of game that will always be a fond memory game, like a game that every time you play it, turn it on, or series of game that just takes you back to the good old days of gaming?
Pokemon Crystal.
Nice. Those were good ones.
Like, just again, that's my like childhood memory. Again, modern, something more recent. Again, any sports game will bring me back to that time. Like again, like modding my PS3, I have a bunch of old copies of the sports games and comparing them to what we play now. Is both a blessing and a curse as a EA fan, with the most caveat and shame that comes with, as someone who knows people who work there and who is just down the street from their office.
Yep. As somebody, I'm stealing a phrase from a buddy of mine. He likes to refer to Call of Duty is you don't buy Call of Duty, you just re-up your subscription every year, your $60 subscription. So same with EA. Same can be said, but are we still going to buy Madden in August? Yes, we are.
I'm so proud of myself. I still haven't gotten 2K23 this year, and I'm proud of myself for waiting.
Do it.
Well, let's just wait for next year. At this point, the playoffs are happening. It'll be free in a week.
Right. Well, speaking of 2K23, I got it on sale. It dropped on sale a couple months ago. Worth it. It reminded me when you and I first started playing 2K together back in 17, 18.
That's alright.
Yeah.
It might have been later. I mean, I'm trying to think of like the actual like the numbers on the box
Yeah.
when we started playing the cover athletes at the time. I don't think it was actually a lot later than that. I think it was in the 20s.
I don't think it was 20.
Was it 19 then? It must have been 19.
Because we kind of split in 20. I think 20 or 21 is what made it split off into we weren't playing 2K as religiously as we used to.
That was fun. Good times though.
Yeah, lots of good times.
That's awesome. Well, now that we're, like what other? So again, I have both. I have an Xbox One. I have a PS5. I have a PS3 on my Switch. I still think you need to fix your Switch. I think Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I have not started it. I have it. It's there. I am waiting for summer break and my free time to torture my Clorox. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that.
I have not.
There is war crimes being committed in this Legend of Zelda game against. It's something I recommend you look up. They put the friendly creatures, Clorox, on a Spitfire, like a rotisserie chicken maker that they make in the game with this new magic hand and sticky hand thing. It's hilarious.
You had me at magic hand.
Or yeah, well, at least it's not a Scanlan hand.
Yes.
If you know, you know. Do you watch Vox Machina?
No.
We'll splash some pop culture here.
Nope. I do not. What in the world is this? Sorry, I have my Game Informer up over here, and I just speaking of anime.
Ooh, go for it.
I don't watch anime. The closest thing to anime I've watched, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z because of my brothers. And I will still watch it if I ever go by Crunchyroll or wherever it's played. But apparently, there's a My Hero Academia Battle Royale heading into open beta.
Ooh, is it soon? I'm a Hero Aka fan.
But it's only it's holding a 24-player Battle Royale.
Very important question. Is it like a hero shooter or is it like custom characters?
I don't know. It's literally just a news little blip article that popped up, and it kind of caught my eye since we were sliding into the anime portion.
I said pop culture. Those are two interchangeable things. Okay, I never said. You're the one who said anime, not me.
You brought up. What did you just bring up before that? You brought up something. I don't know.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, and after that.
I told you to look at the video, and then you went to your computer, and then you saw Hero Aka.
You said something right before it. Oh well, maybe I just don't listen to you.
Well, it's also recording, and you can always just either prove me right or cut me out. It's up to you.
Either or.
Just don't make me say anything stupid. No. That's your job.
What in the world?
Did you watch Ted Lasso though, right?
No, I have not.
What?
So here's if I'm
watching. You're the one who's saying that you don't watch soccer, but you like the clips of soccer.
Yeah.
So then you don't watch Ted Lasso. How does that work?
I don't. If I'm watching something, it's either going to be on the Discovery Channel, and it's going to be some sort of we're going to go explore this, or if I'm tired and it's 11 o'clock at night, we're going straight into Aliens or Bigfoot. Or
I was about to say, you and your Bigfoots.
Yes, I do love my Bigfoots. For just simple watching, if I'm like, hey, I'm going to go watch a show, it's hey, this better be half an hour because that's how long it takes for me to get my food, eat my food, and go back to playing video games.
Gotcha. Well, Brett Goldstein, Roy Kent himself was in town, and that was a trip. He's a great stand-up comedian. Did not expect that with the character he portrays in that show.
Yes. Do you have a favorite show?
Oof. By genre, I do. I am the kind of guy. I cannot be general and vague like that. I mean, my favorite anime of all time is, of course, Full Metal Alchemist,
Mhm.
not Brotherhood. I prefer the original. I
Hmm.
think they rushed to uh, the dog thing too quick, and it's anyway. What about you?
I'm in the same boat. I I enjoy stupid humor. Like I love my they did a fart joke and then go back to eating my burger and yeah.
Making fart jokes of your own.
Yeah, yeah. It's I might be 27, but I act like a 12-year-old. I'm just a 12-year-old with long hair and a beard.
Yeah. No. No. Here, that brings me to one of my questions that I did have written down in my special little Hero Aka notebook. Not a joke. It's actually is. Uh,
Freaking nerd.
I, it's why you like me.
Yes.
Okay. It's also very organized, and I love it. Um, what are your expectations for the podcast long term?
Long term.
First, let's start. That's first year, then long term. And curious.
I would love to grow a community. I would love to have other people be able to interact, get a Discord, be like, I would love to find more people to game with. I would love to find more people to have the conversations like you and I have of let's BS about sports. Like, I mean, you shit talk my team, I'll shit talk your team.
Yeah,
But
but only one of us can be right, and it's going to be me.
no, you're well under the height requirement of being right.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's just building the community, throwing that online footprint out there. Like, why not? Like, let's.
And what Discord are we using? And would you like to show that as well?
It will
That's
be. Are we are we building our own Discord for this separate? Yeah, we'll
I
probably.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
try.
build because I do also to plug the Twitch again. If you follow me on Twitch, Garbage Gorilla 95, there will be a Discord on there that you could follow and you can join me with games. I'm planning on opening it up to have people be able to join me and have a gaming sesh. Um, Speaking of gaming sesh, I remember the game I was going to tell you about.
Ooh, right. Yeah, what's up? What's name it?
Starship Troopers.
You mentioned that on your stream last night, and then immediately after that, I saw an ad for it.
Yep. So now it's just going to be a copious amount of ads for you.
There you go.
But I loved the show back in the day, and okay, it's just guns versus bugs. Like it doesn't get much more 8-year-old sci-fi than that. Like I just, and it's like I think that I was watching some dude. He had like 14 people in his squad. I was like, bro, I was like, I could just have random people. Let's go hang out. Let's go have a good time. Let's go kill some bugs. Um, but yeah, no, I think not to segue in reverse back to your previous topic. We will be creating a Discord
Mhm.
to allow people to. We're gonna have a little sports talk in there, so we can shit on each other's teams nicely, respectfully, respectfully letting people know their team sucks.
Yeah, I mean, your mods are pretty great, especially that one guy that's always in there modding. What's
Yeah,
his name again?
I can't remember. He only hops in every now and then.
So he's a busy guy anyway. He's
Yeah,
the best. But he
but
will kick you out of both if you're being a little turd. So
yes.
who what would you compare us to? Like, what kind of podcasts do you see us compared to?
Um, a podcast. So this is where my brainchild started for a podcast. It started as a truck driver. I'm on the road a lot, 60 hours a week. I'm on the road. I listen to a buttload of podcasts. And I thought, hey, I would love to get a podcast. And I was streaming, he was modding, and yes, Dylan is my mod. Um,
Yes, for those who don't understand subtlety, hi. The demo is the name of the mod account I used, and it's
yes,
also the name of my Twitch channel. It's demo 913. That was a zero. Be careful.
yep. And we got to
Oh,
get him into streaming more.
yeah. But yeah, just like your day jobs as a truck driver makes you listen to podcasts, mine in the school district makes just makes me tired.
Yes. But to compare us, a podcast I've been getting huge into lately because a streamer buddy of mine recommended it It's Wizard and the Bruiser. Love those guys. Their energy fantastic. I don't like to compare because obviously you and I are you and I and they are they are they. That was a lot of theys,
Want to
theirs,
try
and
that one? Try that again. Leave it in, but try it again.
I am not trying that again. We are just gonna, you know what I'm talking about.
See,
The
the problem
audience
though
will know.
is the comedy bit of my experience is yes ending is better than not trying that again. So I'm gonna need you to try that again.
Or I could yes and just keep going on what I was saying.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you got me.
uh, but yes, we are we, they are them. Oh, I
I'm so
know.
proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Second tries the charm. But what I do like about them is they're two big old nerds reminiscing about old timey games, talking about like they're basically going through and like deep diving. Like I want to get to that point where we are deep diving. Like I want to take Star Citizen and I want to rip it from the bottom to the from very day one to current. I want to have a podcast where we're just because I feel like people, yeah, they can do just a quick Google search of like, oh, how did we get here? But when with everybody and their busy lives, it's so nice to be able to just listen, be like, hey, I'm interested in Star Citizen. Boom, podcast. Just slid right in there. You can listen to you and I BS about Star Citizen and berate each other as much as possible, and just have a good time.
Yeah, we do pretend to hate each other way too easily and way too often.
Yes.
So yeah, deep dives are definitely on the table. Something we would love to do. Again, I'm very curious about the history of Star Citizen. I'm very excited to see the rookie career of Victor, who got Wembayama, I hope. Apologies in advance. And again, I love the way, specifically in the field of technology and gaming, that Kind of Funny, another local brand, does their work. Their energy is it's the right high intensity that I need with the pacing that keeps you engaged and the topics that I am interested in. And again, more about EA, more about Victor, more about. I was a little. Here's another story. Uh, this year's draft, for the NFL, one of the players that I was very excited to see graduate and move on to the NFL from college uh, was a Stanford player, Tanner McGee, and they skipped over his pick. They did a profile before and after, but for whatever reason, they just moved off of him as a top 10, top 20 quarterback in the draft. I'd have to look up the number again, but they had profiles for most of the players, but not him. And I noticed that was very interesting to me. So, like, if there are people in the audience who want to know more, want to just write a name in the comments, write an email, the Garbage Gorilla professional email that you should plug. We would do that. We would look at those lesser known players, even from back in the day, people whose profiles have been lost to time.
He was
that would be very interesting.
round 6, pick 188.
There you go. And I remember, because I was watching at that point, or at least I went back and looked at it, and it was interesting to see them talk about the pick before and the pick after, but not during.
Mm.
Yeah, as a Stanford fan, as a college football follower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thoughts on possibly adding a, say, at some point you and I get bigger into streaming. Like, I mean, I'm at a lowly 134 followers. It's not, I don't have a massive platform, but that's what I want to create, is a bigger platform to interact with people. Say somebody wants to get into streaming, like being able to help them of like, hey, let's promote your ass, like let's get you going, or with you with the sports, me with the games. Like say there's a small, like when Phasmophobia first came out, it was one guy given one opportunity, one chance.
You better not let it go to blow.
And but now just to promote, like, because here's my thing, not to be all lovey-dovey world hug fest, but it's the only way people make it in this world is either stepping on somebody or being helped up. I want us to be able to be the guys that help people up. And I don't want to sit at the plateau and look down. I want to sit at the plateau with all the people, with everyone. I just I just want to have success so I could share success, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does, and I do not disagree with the one very large caveat. Uh, yeah,
You're a
kind of
large
funny wants to
caveat.
buy us out. They can absolutely do
You're a large caveat.
that. Yeah. Yeah, everything I do is yes anding or yes but.
Or ass butt for you supernatural fans.
See, I see. And want to show off any tattoos today while we're at it? You and your
I, I,
supernatural style stuff.
well, I mean, right now in visual, 3 tattoos are visible, and 2 are not. So,
Only
uh,
two. I thought there was that secret one that you don't want to talk about.
no, dude, if I had a butt tattoo, I'd be showing it off to everybody. Like, you know me. Are you
No
really my?
shame. I know this is true.
Yeah, if you truly are my friend, you will see my butt crack at once or twice, or both cheeks in your
When you
lifetime.
said you're a truck driver, that is what I assumed. And you know what they say about assuming.
Yes,
I see your ass whether you want me to or not.
yes, pretty much.
uh,
But,
well,
uh, but no, I think that's kind of our vision. I know it's kind of a touch on the chaotic side today, but also this is pilot side. Or
pilot side introductions, giving you what we will be doing in the future. You know,
yeah.
again when I filled for Enders, that's going to be our first person that we're going to have on most likely,
Hmm.
who is
He's gonna
not
be a Star
a
Citizen
small
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
He's another Star Citizen guy, and he also is a streamer that we like, someone that we know, someone that is smaller and up and comer and really good dude. So like, and there's other people that we are hoping to have on from our lives as people, as our lives as friends, and just people we might know who have shows that they want to show for, or streams that they want to pitch, and
Even
we want to
even
support those people.
even podcasts too. Like I know we're just starting out, so who are we gonna promote? But I like it's all about community. Like I'm starting to do my dive into the Twitch community, and honestly, for the most part, I've been received with open arms. Of hey, you're new. I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna help you. And the feeling I get is how we want to get those other people who we support, who we want to get up there. And same thing with podcasting. Like I'm hoping to get accepted into that podcasting community of like, hey, I mean, we're both incredibly busy. You're got a crazy work schedule. I
Oh,
truck driver.
summertime, gonna be
Yeah.
here now. It's 12 days away, and I want it to be
Hmm.
here tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. Your crazy schedule. I not only am I a truck driver, I am a full time dad on the side.
That's
So,
right, Adam. That's
I,
right.
yeah, I am very very busy. But if I could carve a couple hours a day,
Did you do? I want to clarify. Did you say you're a full-time dad on the side?
yeah, I'm a side dad.
Yeah. Okay.
I have 2 full time jobs as dad and truck driver,
I thought you were a backside dad. Anyway, there
depending on the day.
you go. Not his backside. Don't be rude. Uh, but anyway, so yeah, community is going to be a big part of what we do, and hopefully the energy we have as individuals and together will naturally create that. And if not, our content will. I
Yes.
mean, if not, then that's why we'll bring other people to broaden our horizons as well as our audiences.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got your Twitch stuff. You got your who you are. You got what we're all about. There is the big piece of information that please, I'm begging you, audience, I'm begging you to subscribe to whatever thing this may be, because once we get to 1 million, hopefully it's cumulative in total. Something very, 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 very cool is going to happen, and I would love for Nick to tell you what that is.
My beard does not want to tell you what it is.
Well, why would your beard not want to tell you what happens at 1 million subs?
The beard gets to go.
It gets to go. It has to go.
It has
That's
to
how.
go. It has to
And it's
go.
going. And when was the last time that that had happened?
Ooh, I've trimmed it down, but the last time beard has been completely gonzo. It's got to be over a year ago, almost 2 years ago.
Okay, it feels like it was more than that. And the fact that that is the case is wonderful.
Hmm.
And I will continue to beg every chance I get. Um,
He keeps pushing for the hair, but this hair took me 5 years to grow out. My beard I can grow back in no time flat.
but well, then we have to do it every 500,000, and
I,
it'll be our smaller increments, and it'll be a thing.
I'm not saying it's off the table, but I'm saying it's in the room in the back corner hiding away. But it's purely just to entertain other people.
Yeah, the most entertained person is definitely going to be the wife.
Yeah, no, she's gonna kill me.
Can't
She
wait.
she enjoys the beard. She enjoys the hair. She enjoys my look all around.
Yeah, it's hard. I still don't get it, and anyway. Uh, yeah, I mean, I have some other things written down here, but I'm gonna push it back to you before go any further.
Let's see what we got over here. I know in our discussions we were trying to. I was gonna have a segment on here.
It's true.
The segment did not work out because I have misplaced a certain prompt. I will not release it because I would like to surprise at some point and bring it on
Yeah.
here. But I think between sports, video games, and I don't want it to seem like our podcast is just sports and video games. That is that is the nucleus of our
Core.
podcast, our very tight core.
The core. I
Um,
mean, we splashed a lot of pop culture in there as well, and I think that's going to be a big thing. As I don't think we discussed that we're both not musically inclined,
mhm.
but we're not against learning and trying new things.
Yep.
Again, TV, anime, and movies definitely on the table.
Mhm. Hoping to another goal is would love to have a YouTube channel, and even if it's throwing our podcast out there, or I would love reaction. I feel like you and I have really good reactions to either music, scary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing's funnier than a 6'7" dude jumping out of his chair because he's scared shitless.
Pretty good.
So,
Yeah.
um, but that's a lot of down the line stuff. But I think current we're just gonna keep doing us. We're gonna keep like we even take this podcast away. We'd probably be sitting here BSing about sports, video games, pop culture, and just riffing off each other and going through. So that's why this last week was difficult because I wanted to talk to you about shit, but I wanted to save it for the podcast, so I'm having to shut the fuck up half the time.
It's a challenge. There's a reason this notebook is full, and I'm taking it slow. Fortunately, you are either the worst or the best of us,
There you go.
and and
I'm the best of us. I'm the best
um,
around. Never.
and I am going to be the one keeping you down, as always.
Well, you're always down to me because you're shorter than me.
Short jokes.
But yeah, I'd say that was.
What's an amazing first podcast?
I think that was pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
I think that we will have more of these segments structured out in our next episode next week. I think that once we get more feedback on what we are doing, we are going to find that niche of content balance that we need. And I'm excited to figure that out together. Nick, how about you?
I'm excited. If somebody were to ask me, "Hey, heard you started a podcast. Where can I find you?" Where do you think they can find us?
I would put us up on YouTube. I would put us up on Apple Podcast. I would put us on Spotify if we can ever figure out how to do that. I think that eventually we will get it to a
Mm-hmm.
point where we can live stream our recordings on
Mm-hmm.
Twitch on our own channel once we get there. I think your Twitch channel is a great place to find updates, if not on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Once I get those streams for myself up and running, I will plug those more. But again, demo 913 and Garbage Grill 95.
What's the for full um, frame of reference? so people don't think we're recording, and when they're listening, that's an active recording, live recording. We're streaming on a Sunday. When should they expect a release?
Well, I mean, the first release, again, we recorded on Sunday. Today is the 21st. Again, I don't like dating. I think we should never date our podcast, but this is the inaugural episode, the anniversary, if you will, the day zero. It's May 21st at 1 p.m. when we started, and it's on to 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we'll be trimming it down and taking out some bad bits or cropping out some ands, ers, and or buts.
Yep.
But this was a great trash family podcast, and another thing that we will go into in a future milestone is the origin story of why we are the Trash Family Podcast.
That is the plan for Patreon. Is another goal we have in mind, but it is not up to us. It is up to you guys.
Sure. So, share all of the site.
Share
Watch.
with your friends.
All the way through. Give us comments. Give us feedback. Reach out. Say hello. Ask us a question. It's like, why is Nick so ugly? Why is he the worst? Why am I friends with him? That's a great question for the writing segment we will build in next time.